First question today goes to Sophia from Gothamist.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor. I am wondering if you think Governor Cuomo should resign.
Sophia, look, these are very serious allegations against the governor, both in terms of the nursing home scandal and in terms of sexual harassment. Obviously, a third woman has come forward. If these allegations are true, he cannot govern. He would not be able to govern. It's as simple as that. You have to have trust from the people, and if you can't maintain that trust, you can't govern. Go ahead, Sophia.
Thank you. And pivoting to what the program for homebound seniors will look like now that the Johnson & Johnson vaccines are arriving, how quickly do you think the city will be ready to stand up that program? What's the scope of the outreach? Are you targeting specific neighborhoods?
Yeah, so I'll start and turn to my medical colleagues. Sophia, look, this is one of the very best uses for the Johnson & Johnson vaccine because it's single shot, which is so important. It means, one and done, and that particularly is important for protecting homebound seniors. They cannot get to vaccination appointments. It has to come to them, so getting it done in one dose is particularly important. Also, it's just an easier vaccine to use, requires less refrigeration. So we're going to devote a lot of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine to the Homebound Senior Initiative. We're getting to the point we'll be able to start that very quickly. It's very labor intensive, so I want to caution it will take time because it's literally someone trained going to each and every home and apartment. But we'll be able to start that out this month. And let me turn to, I know that I have Dr. Choksi, Dr. Katz, Dr. Long. Who wants to start on this?
Sir, I'm happy to start on it. And I'll pick up where you left off, which is that we've been planning for this, of course, with respect to being able to use the Johnson & Johnson vaccine for our homebound seniors. And I'm so heartened that some of the most vulnerable New Yorkers will get this added layer of protection. It is something that is logistically complicated, but we're committed to doing it in the coming days. We expect to get the initial part of our Johnson & Johnson supply later this week. It could be as soon as Wednesday or Thursday. And very soon after that, we will be ready to start deploying the vaccine to actually reach our homebound seniors. That overall process will take a matter of weeks, but we aim to start as soon as possible once we have the vaccine in hand and we work through the protocols to deliver it safely.
Dr. Katz or Dr. Long, anything to add?
Yeah, this is Dr. Long. The only thing I would quickly add is, again, this is an incredibly important population. I've literally been, as a primary care doctor, counting the days until we receive the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which would be life-saving for this population of New Yorkers. We've been planning this for weeks. We'll execute as quickly as possible. And as Dr. Choksi said, we're heartened that we have this ability to keep our New Yorkers safe.
Thank you very much. Go ahead.
The next is Sean from the Daily News.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. I also had an Albany-related question. The State Assembly canceled a session yesterday as the Capitol is just consumed by the Cuomo scandals. There's just a month to go before the state legislature is supposed to approve a fiscal plan. I just wanted to ask, with all the chaos in Albany, are you concerned about the state budget being passed, or any other thoughts about getting that done?
I have a lot of faith in the legislature, Sean. I gave my testimony about a month ago. A lot of legislators agreed that we have to stop the governor's proposed cuts to health and hospitals, which is almost a half billion, in cuts. That we have to stop the governor's proposal to take $800 million away from New York City public schools. We have to stop the governor's proposal to take away the rights of local communities to have a say in land use decisions and give that power to wealthy developers. We, I think, clearly have a number of items we're concerned about, plus the things that we need to get done to empower working New Yorkers and create equity, like local hiring legislation, to make sure that everyday working people in communities where development is happening actually benefit from the jobs from that development. and the ability to get more and more of our government contracts to minority and women-owned businesses. There's a lot on the table, but I have a lot of faith that the legislature agrees on these issues, agrees with the city of New York, wants to work with us, wants to get things done. So I have a lot of faith in Carl Hastie, a lot of faith in Andrea Stewart-Cousins. I think they will keep things running even while the governor deals with these scandals. Go ahead.
Yeah, so thanks to that. In a different vein, on buses and subways, it seems like there's talk of new service cuts, with some MTA officials saying those are needed due to low revenue. Others are saying got to keep things going full steam as much as possible to avoid crowding. Just wanted to ask, what do you think?
I spoke to Senator Schumer a few days ago, and it's quite clear, to his great credit, and there's nothing like having the majority leader of the U.S. Senate come from your state. He is working overtime to ensure that the stimulus helps us on so many levels, including directly for the MTA, and obviously a huge amount of money the state would get through the state and local aid. There should not be cutbacks to MTA service when we're trying to recover. This is a year of recovery. 2021 is going to be a historic comeback year for New York City, but that requires the MTA to be strong. From everything I can see in the proposed stimulus, the money is there to keep MTA service at the levels it is at now, and there should not be any cutbacks in that service, especially at this crucial recovery moment. So I understand anyone who says the MTA has big challenges. But cutting back service would be a huge mistake. And by the way, let's move forward with congestion pricing. One of the ways to help benefit the MTA and the bottom line, the MTA, and make sure we have the mass transit we need is to move congestion pricing aggressively. I spoke to the new Transportation Secretary, Pete Buttigieg, last week. He heard me loud and clear. New York City's ready to go. I think he's going to do a lot to help us. He's a former mayor. He understands how to get things done at the local level. Let's speed up the process to bring congestion pricing into play so we can have additional revenue to protect mass transit for all New Yorkers. Go ahead.
The next is Emma from the New York Times.
Hi, good morning, Mayor. So there's been some debate over whether